All right, let's dive right into this explainer and see exactly why Doctor Doom is the absolute most terrifying, uncompromising force the Marvel's cinematic universe has ever faced. Look, we've seen our heroes go toe-to-toe with cosmic titans and intergalactic conquerors, right? But they are about to face an entirely different breed of villain. We're talking about a man whose sheer willpower and incredibly fragile ego literally make him an extinction-level event. Listen to that quote. "Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision." It perfectly captures the sheer existential dread hanging over the upcoming Avengers Doomsday film. It establishes right out of the gate that our heroes are going to need an absolute miracle. This isn't just another superpowered brawl. This is a conflict where the Avengers have to completely drop their petty squabbles and brace for a threat that scares even the most hardened warriors in the galaxy. Section 1. The Threat of Doomsday. To truly grasp the psychological depths of the monster our heroes are up against, we're going to break down the sprawling comic storyline, Doctor Doom Kills the Marvel Universe. And trust me, it's way more than just a story about Doom defeating heroes. It is a profound, deep-dive character study that exposes exactly how his mind works and why he is so incredibly dangerous to the very fabric of reality. I really want you to contrast Thor's desperate prayer for peace, which is drawn straight from the new trailers, with the stark reality of Doctor Doom. Thor's practically begging the Allfathers for the strength to fight just one last time, just so he can return home and teach his daughter stillness. But then you look at Doom. This is a man whose absolute lust for power defines every single breath he takes. And when you realize that as long as Doom is breathing, there will be no stillness. Moving to Section 2, A Vision of Utopia. The whole comic storyline kicks off with a massive scientific undertaking. We're talking about a controlled black hole project on the moon led by Reed Richards, which Doom smugly and accurately predicts is going to be a disastrous failure. But, leading up to this inevitable disaster, something really strange happens to Doom. He starts getting these impossible visions of an alternate reality. And in these visions, he actually ushers in an era of global peace and scientific enlightenment. He sees himself with a loving wife and a family, standing as humanity's undisputed savior. For a guy driven entirely by his own ego, this is literally the most intoxicating dream imaginable. Well, right on cue, Richards' project completely tanks. It fails catastrophically and manifests a full-scale black hole right on the moon. And because Doom had so publicly predicted this, and because Latvian missiles were involved in the resulting chaos, Doom is instantly framed for the whole attack. International forces are suddenly descending on him, guns blazing. Which brings us to Section 3, To Hell and Back. Now, instead of fighting off these false charges like you'd expect, Doom issues a full surrender. He just lets himself be taken into custody. Why? Because he's curious about those utopian visions and wants to see exactly where this path leads. But man, this surrender sparks a wildly chaotic chain of events that just proves his sheer, terrifying resilience. Get a load of this timeline. This strategic surrender kicks off an absolute gauntlet. Hour 1, Doom is arrested. By hour 24, he's actually assassinated by the mercenary Taskmaster. Since he is legally dead, Doom wakes up in hell, face to face with the demon Mephisto. He actually fights Mephisto in his own realm. Ultimately, he's freed by Mistress Death herself. And she doesn't do it out of the kindness of her heart, no way. She resurrects him because she claims he's destined to become her absolute greatest servant of destruction. So he's back in the land of the living, but he's temporarily stripped of his magical powers. Does that stop him? Not even a little. Doom goes on an absolute rampage. He breaks into an AIM base, armed with nothing but stolen terrestrial weapons, and shoots his way through their entire armed force. He even overpowers Taskmaster, a guy who literally possesses the fighting styles of Captain America, Spider-Man, and Wolverine in brutal hand-to-hand combat. He proves right then and there that he is a warlord to his core, magic or no magic. Section 4. The Ultimate Weapon. Amidst all this chaos, enter Kang the Conqueror, who forms this really uneasy, bickering alliance with Doom. Now, why would a time-traveling conqueror help Dr. Doom? Because Kang has seen the future where Doom creates that perfect utopia from his visions. And Kang figures that a peaceful, totally disarmed Earth built by Doom is going to be way easier to conquer later on. This bizarre team-up leads Doom to acquire a little package he arranged, the Ultimate Nullifier. Guys, we literally cannot overstate how terrifying this artifact is. It escalates the stakes to a reality-ending level. It doesn't just blow things up, it completely erases a target from existence as if they never were, across all of time and space. Putting a weapon like that in the hands of a man like Dr. Doom strikes fear into the entire universe. Naturally, Kang tries to double-cross him and steal the nullifier the second Doom gets it, because time travel rules dictate Doom had to acquire it first. But showcasing his absolutely ruthless nature, Doom immediately betrays his ally. Without a single second thought, he literally stabs Kang in the neck, leaves him bleeding out, and rides off on a horse to secure the ultimate cosmic power all for himself. It gets crazier. Doom then travels to Mexico, finds a random payphone, and casually calls Reed Richards. He literally pauses his global rampage just to solve the moon's black hole crisis. He instructs Reed to send the hero Blue Marvel, who is essentially an antimatter reactor in human form, into the black hole to cancel out the singularity. But here's the kicker. Doom only does this for one reason: to prove to the world that he is infinitely smarter than Reed Richards. He's totally willing to risk Earth's destruction just to make Reed look like a failure. All right, Section 5, the Mirror Universe. Doom later attempts to finalize fixing the moon himself, but, shocker, his fragile ego gets in the way. Even though he's a super genius, he starts second-guessing his own math just to spite Reed Richards. This fatal miscalculation triggers a massive energy blast that teleports Doom straight into a mirror universe. Doom wakes up to find that this alternate reality is the exact world from his visions. Earth is a true, thriving utopia. There are no ultimate nullifiers, no cosmic weapons needed at all. Humanity has achieved open, peaceful collaboration with alien races like the Kree and the Skrulls. It's a completely perfect existence. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate clash of the whole story. Here, Doom meets Victor, the alternate version of himself who actually achieved this peace. Victor explains that utopia was built through collaboration, sharing knowledge, and focusing on we. Our Dr. Doom, on the other hand, looks at the world focusing only on I. Doom wants to force humanity to be better by subjugating them under his iron fist. Section 6. A Warlord's Choice. The absolute breaking point happens when Victor challenges Doom directly. He points out that Doom could heal his own scarred face at any time, but chooses to keep it disfigured as a pathetic excuse to hold on to his hate for humanity. Victor flat out calls Doom what he is, a misanthropic narcissist whose entire mode of being is just a ludicrous, desperate attempt to conceal his own deep insecurities. So, the crucial point here is that when forced to confront this undeniable truth, Doom's fragile ego just shatters completely. He simply cannot handle the fact that his perfect self achieved greatness through kindness rather than subjugation. So what does he do? In cold blood, Dr. Doom murders his perfect utopian alternate self. But he doesn't stop there. In a chilling display of sheer, unadulterated spite, Doom points the ultimate nullifier and literally wipes out that entire perfect universe. Just erases it. Billions of lives and a thriving utopia completely wiped from existence, just so he never has to look at it and compare himself to it ever again. Doom then returns to his own world, and in one of the most incredibly bizarre and menacing moments ever, he arrives riding a bear named Novak. He violently reclaims his throne in Latveria, crushes a rebellion with zero mercy, and fully embraces his destiny as an uncompromising warlord. He just completely rejects any possible path toward redemption. So what should you take away from this explainer? Why does this matter for the MCU? It shows us that Dr. Doom is an adversary who will never, ever compromise. He would literally rather prioritize his own ego over planetary or even universal salvation. He sees the human collaboration that defines the Avengers not as a strength, but as a pathetic weakness that he believes must be brutally punished. Which leaves us with this haunting question from the X-Men trailer. We have to ask ourselves, how can the heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe possibly survive an adversary who is handed a perfect, peaceful reality and chooses to burn it all to the ground just to protect his own ego? It's a terrifying thought to leave you with, for sure, but it perfectly sets the stage for the doomsday to come.